Lieutenant General Raj Kadyan is also with us on this broadcast. Thank you so much, Lieutenant General, for speaking with us here on Times Now. We are, of course, awaiting Nancy Pelosi to fly out of Taipei any minute now. But ever since she's landed yesterday, the world has been watching her. China especially, they have come out with what they call as punishment for Taiwan. They've put certain curbs as far as import-export is concerned. They've halted certain vessels. They've declared certain zones as dangerous zones as well. But do you think this is just saber-rattling by China, or will China actually take this one step forward, and will the repercussions be felt by other neighboring countries as well?
No, China has already been troubling the neighboring countries of the South China Sea, the ASEAN nations, and that is why America wants to come into this area. The whole episode proves that America is still #1 power and remains unchallenged. Whatever China does, they have already put some trade sanctions against Taiwan, like not exporting the natural sand and stopping import of some foodstuffs. They come to challenge America militarily in a direct confrontation. So they will keep making noise. They will do some exercise from 4th to 7th August, they have said, with live ammunition closer to about 80 miles away from Taiwan. But more than that, I think they will not be able to do anything. They overplayed their cards. Xi Jinping, he cannot challenge America to the extent that anybody playing with fire gets burnt and our military is ready and will not sit idle. These are not words to be used by the leader of a country. So I think ultimately he has to blink first. And America has proved its supremacy in the world. 2 events, of course, killing of El Johari, and these came incidentally together. So America, Biden will be stronger internally. Xi Jinping standing within China is seeking the third term as president, perhaps would take a beating. Of course, these are losers. They're saying that Nancy Pelosi went everywhere with great pomp and show, but when she came to Taiwan, she came quietly unannounced. These are not issues that were at stake. At stake was challenge America militarily, which they had been voicing. That has not happened. So China, I think Xi Jinping perhaps overplayed his card, and he should have realized that the kind of language that he used cannot be used by a responsible country's head.
Right, Lieutenant General Kadyan, now we've seen the kind of tensions that have been brewing between United States and China over the years, especially as far as the trade war is concerned. The tariffs that the U.S. had placed on them continue even now, though there is uncertainty over whether or not they will be reversed under Biden now. But these kind of tensions between those two countries have had a spiraling effect on other countries as well, including India. One of the reasons why we did see the rupee fall as low as it did against the dollar, and one of the reasons that was cited by the government also, was the kind of trade war that we were seeing between US and China. Will this particular visit of Nancy Pelosi further, freeze the relations between those two countries, and that would perhaps have a domino effect on the other countries in the world?
First is American policy on Taiwan. They have deliberately been vague. They don't have a kind of a contract with Taiwan that they will come and defend Taiwan. But recently, Biden, either slip of tongue, it should not happen at that level. When somebody asked him a question, okay, will you defend Taiwan? He said yes. So I think they're deliberately vague. They keep announcing one China policy, but their actions don't really convey that meaning. They're saying we are against forcible occupation of any democratic country. As far as China is concerned, American action is good for India. You ask about India. But China will be checkmated in expanding itself unilaterally, which includes India. They have done so in East Ladakh, and with the other ASEAN countries that they've been threatening all along. So I think to that extent, those countries, their morale will be bolstered up, and China will be checkmated. The tensions have continued on the trade issue. China is planning to overtake American economy, although this year with the strict implementation of the COVID protocols and others, the economy has gone down, and so has the popularity of Xi Jinping to an extent. So he was looking for an opportunity to prove his machoism, but I think he's misfired.
Right now, yesterday, the kind of reactions that we saw from China, Lieutenant General Raj Kadyan, they said that we would, look at targeted military actions. What do you think they were actually talking about, and how should the world be wary of such comments coming in from there?
I think they cannot do anything more than maybe intrude into the Taiwan airspace, which they've done in the past also, and doing military exercises in a group of areas together. 6 areas they've only announced surrounding Taiwan. Beyond that, they don't have the capacity or the gumption to use any force to capture Taiwan. So the show of force will continue. This is more of a face saver, as per my reading, than any concrete action.
Right, Lieutenant General Raj Kadyan, thank you so much for speaking with us here on Times Now. These visuals on your screens, viewers, are of when Nancy Pelosi landed in Taipei yesterday evening. It was about 8 p.m. when her flight landed. And on the other side, you see visuals of her plane there standing by to take off from Taipei any minute now. The signaling that this visit has made has completely rattled China. We saw the kind of comments that came to the fore from Chinese mouthpiece yesterday. We also had the Chinese ministers then line up, spokespersons of the Xi Jinping government line up to call this an unnecessary provocation. As far as the United States is concerned, China even going on to then retaliate with military drills after US made it very clear that they do not support China's claim on Taiwan. Taiwan is a sovereign independent country. KP Fabian is with me on this broadcast. Thank you so much for speaking with us. Nancy Pelosi is all set to take off now from Taipei, but the last few hours have been extremely crucial, not just as far as US-China relations are concerned, but the repercussions this would have on the entire world as well. Mr. Fabian?
Yes, I'm listening. Oh, is that question to me?
Yes, sir.
Well, it's like this. China-US relations are getting, what shall I say, aggravated. But because of the sanctions which China has already applied on Taiwan and might apply more, we would run into problems with world trade, supply chains, and all that. Also, we have to recognize that even after she leaves, China will continue to intimidate Taiwan. Not that they will go and attack, but they will continue to intimidate by sending, fighter planes to their defense exclusion zones and all that. So how that is going to be played, we have to watch. So all told, we are entering a new stage in turbulence.
Right, Mr. Fabian, now several countries, world powers have come out and supported the United States as far as their position on Taiwan is concerned and Nancy Pelosi's visit, including Canada, France, Germany. But India so far, of course, hasn't said anything. Neither has Australia. The two countries that are part of Quad with the United States, also extremely affected by Chinese aggression.
Yes, but I don't think it will be good for us to come out with any statement at all. We don't have to come out with a statement. This is something which is happening between China and the United States. Let it be that.
Right. Do you feel, Mr. Fabian, that this would have a domino effect as far as world economy is concerned? Because the trade war between US and China has been going on for far too long. There was, there were reports, in fact, coming in the last couple of weeks that perhaps there would be a rethink by the Biden administration as far as tariffs against China is concerned. But now, after Nancy Pelosi's visit, do you think that is going to further go into a freeze and perhaps that could have a spiraling effect on the global economy?
Well, the rift or between United States and China, that is bound to continue and get even worse. I don't think President Biden is serious about mending that. So that will continue. But what I mentioned earlier about sanctions imposed by China on Taiwan, will affect only to a limited extent because they have got so much of trade that China cannot hurt Taiwan without hurting itself.
Right, KP Fabian, thank you so much for speaking with us here on Times Now. Analysts, defense experts coming out and putting this in perspective of why really is China angered by Nancy Pelosi's visit. She was there in Taipei for less than 24 hours, but it was more than enough for Beijing to be rattled enough to not only come out with statements and warnings for the United States, but also intensify their military drills, act against Taiwan as what they call as punishment, impose curbs on imports and exports, halt certain trade routes as well as far as Taiwan is concerned. The repercussions of Nancy Pelosi's visit, whether or not the US feels it, that of course remains to be seen. But Taiwan definitely is going to be feeling it as far as China's aggression is concerned. Many countries have come out to back the United States, including Canada, Denmark, France, Germany, United Kingdom as well. And not surprisingly, North Korea, Pakistan and Russia are the ones that are backing China in its claim of one China, where they insist that Taiwan is Chinese territory, a notion that the United States tried to dispel with Nancy Pelosi's this visit to Taipei. The United States making it clear that they do not recognize China's forced hold on Taiwan. 23 million people that are in that island nation are citizens of a sovereign nation is the message that the United States was trying to send with Nancy Pelosi's this visit, and the visit is just about wrapped up as we see her plane standing there on the tarmac waiting to take off.